Hello everyone and welcome back to another Sims video. I am so sorry for being gone so long. I, last week woke up Monday with a terrible head cold and it lasted pretty much all week. And I don't know if you can hear it in my voice. It's not exactly 100%, but it's a lot better because I had like an extremely sore throat due to all like, mucus. Sorry. But I am back. And I'm excited to let you all know about a new mini series that I kind of want to do called A Better Life, and it has to do with Sims 4 townies and giving them makeovers and then remaking their house and then maybe doing a little gameplay with them, giving them the lore that they so desperately deserve and they do not get. But as you can see, today we are doing the pancakes, and I know that Simsy just remade the pancakes house, and this isn't me pulling a, well, I did it first, but I don't want to get called out for copying, because like I said, I was sick all last week, and I had this pre-recorded, and then I saw her post, so fair enough. But basically, I took the fact that, because to me they just kind of dressed Eliza to dress her as Eliza, and I'm like, she has so many traits that you could easily play off of, and they're like, no. I'm like, she's materialistic and neat, so I gave her fancier outfits, and don't you worry your little head, you may be missing that lovely Eliza flair. I made sure I gave her her flip-flops for hot weather. But I basically kind of dressed her a little bit like a Karen. A label whore Karen is basically where I went with Eliza. And then Bob, I changed his skin tone only because it was a little too cool toned for me. I prefer warm tones. I know that people can have cool toned skins. It's a personal gameplay style of mine. But I basically tried to make sure that he was the same shade of darkness. I just warmed it up a little bit. And with him, I pretty much just kind of went the exact route that they were already taking him. And just expanded on that because he is lazy, but I also am like, he's depressed. And he's lonely. So I did clean him up a little bit. One thing I dislike, I just hate Sims facial hair. I really do. The more and more that I try to make male Sims, I just hate their facial hair. I don't know how to explain it. I just do. And then I just basically kind of changed it up for custom content. I'm like, cargo pants, sweatpants. I picked sweatpants because not only is he a slob, but he's also depressed. And I'm like, you know what? Sweatpants. But basically, I kept his formal wear because I really liked it. And then literally I just I lazied him out. He doesn't care. He does not care. I kind of gave him colorful sleepwear, but that was about it. I'm like, how would I dress if I were this man? I'm like, exactly this. No effort whatsoever. What the fuck is the phrase? Whatsoever. There we go. And now that we're done with them, you'll see that now we are giving them a new house so that when we choose to play our first episode, we can have a nice house to live in. And okay, so you see what happened is I kind of just used all the money that they gave me, which probably isn't the best, but I'm also I don't care. What you're gonna see is, to be completely honest, I deleted the entire lot, right? And then basically almost built the exact same house. I built almost the exact same house, but from scratch. But that's just how my brain works, is I don't like renovating houses. I never have, and I don't know why I can't, but I don't like it. But it also gives me a fresh perspective on said house. Why? I don't know. But basically, I wanted to take inspiration from the house next door and do like the normal green and white. Why? I don't know. It looked like fun. Also, before you call me out, this is just how I tend to build houses. Is I build the front first because I'm like, I want to know what I want it to look like. And then I build the rooms. I've always been that way. Like, this isn't even a Sims thing. I build this way in Minecraft as well. That I will straight up build the front of whatever I'm building so that I can get, I think it's so that I could get like a handle on what I'm aiming for when it comes to like style. So, easy peasy. And I do know that this house is just a straight up like square, but that's just how, to be completely honest, a lot of houses are. If you think about it, like most houses are just squares. It isn't until you reach The Sims where everybody's like, but I want some extra oomph, and then that's when you get all these bump outs everywhere. Like, I'm from America. I don't know about anywhere else. I don't go, wow, I don't want to hear, wow, ignorant American, of course, doesn't know anything about anywhere other than America. Bestie, I'm not sitting in my room for hours just staring at other countries' houses. I'm staring at YouTube for hours. There's a difference. But yeah, basically where I live, almost all houses are just squares. So. And you're gonna see me struggle quite a lot. Why? I don't know. I just wish we had fences that matched better, that looked good. If that makes any sense. And again, is there a reason that the roof trim doesn't match the green swatch? I don't know. I wish it did. Did it? No. So I just used the basic white one. I really wanted to use green, but no. Also, the more I'm looking at the fact that I painted my roof and the fact that a lot of houses in Willow Creek just don't have painted roofs, kind of irritates me, but he's fine, I guess. And so basically for the house, I kind of went for like 50s renovated, because that's kind of what my house is the house. It was built in the 50s, but it's been since renovated, but not too well renovated. So they still have like that kind of tile in their entryway. They have laminate in the kitchen. They have, what do you want to call it? They have that old musty tile in the bathroom. Dead space. Dead space. Dead space. But yeah, basically, it's kind of on the older side, but obviously it's not completely 50s because it doesn't have god-awful wallpaper, god-awful other kind of laminate. But I think I don't know about everywhere else, but I always just kind of cop out and make all my bathrooms look alike. But one thing that I'm really excited about is that I pushed myself to go with a more story narrative build, I guess, because since they say Bob is lazy, and I'm saying that he's recently been kicked out of of their bedroom that they shared together, I wanted to show that his bedroom is undone, so I made some of the walls unpainted, and I really liked that aspect, and I even did it in the bathroom. But what the ideas that I got for Eliza came from what her original room was just like pink and fancy. That's literally all I got from her vibes, but that kind of fits with her like clean, neat, and materialistic, that she'd want very nice things in her room and it would be very clean and pristine, and in her case, pink. But I kind of go for like this light wood, and can I just say, the more and more that I have to build in The Sims, I get more and more frustrated that so many swatches don't match. But thankfully I picked a color that kind of matches, I guess, because at least a few packs have this like light tawny, whatever you want to wood. And then I gave her a blue patio because I figured she had that blue easel. Like, if you noticed, I kept some things from my inventory, like from their house. I'm like, you know, we'll keep it. And so I kept that for her and decided to just make her entire porch blue because I'm like, you know what, makes sense. And of course, this is Eliza's bathroom, so I wanted to make it extremely like kind of fancy for her, so she'd have the big fancy tub, lounge seating, gorgeous-ish sink. I just want to call her a money-hungry whore. And that's not nice, but it is also the truth. Because I don't mean it male intent. I'm just like, girl loves her money, girl loves fancy things. So I give her fancy things, you know? Yeah, but basically, I'm like, hers all pink. That's literally all I tried to do. I'm like, this is pink. And I really liked the way that it came down. Like, to be completely honest, like, furnishing her room was, like, extremely boring for me because I'm just, like, not my style. There's nothing really fun about it. It's just making it neat and clean and pristine and just looks good, you know? I had the most fun furnishing Bob's room because I basically wanted it to look like it was their spare bedroom that he just moved into, you know? Like, I don't know about any of you, but we always have, like, a spare bedroom. It's where you put shit that you don't know where to put it. It's kind of basically like how some people have storage units, but some people can't afford storage units, so. And basically what I ended up doing is, story-wise, I thought it would be really cool to have all of this stuff just block up that porch door, basically to signify that he's not even trying, or that he's got old hobbies out on the porch and it's stuff that he's just let fall by the wayside, to show that he did have a dream at one point, but he doesn't now. And I kind of I like that narrative because I know that there's a lot of online discourse about whose side you would take with Eliza and Bob. And my personal take is they both have their issues. Kind of like, if any of you are musical fans, like the last 5 years, that everybody's like Team Kathy or Team Jamie. I'm like, no, they're both fucking assholes. So I kind of wanted to show that Bob isn't lazy. He doesn't have the trait that's lazy. He's depressed, you know? And that's, I think, why a lot of people have sympathy for him, is because EA, when they made these Sims, really tried to push their narrative that, oh, Eliza's a goddess and Bob's just this deadbeat asshole in her way. And I'm like, no, he's depressed. And I think the more that we start talking about mental health, the more that we start to realize that they both have issues, and that because people have denied mental health for so many years, people are kind of more leaning towards supporting Bob because they understand that is it diminishing? I don't know. But like that oversight of not really like caring too much about depression. But I could be reading too far into it, and that is okay because I do that a lot. And I'm not saying that doesn't mean Eliza doesn't have her issues. She does too, but I kind of wanted to give more story behind Bob's because it feels like his was never fully fleshed out. Obviously, Eliza's story has always been that she just wants the best for him and doesn't like that he doesn't want the best for him, if that makes any sense. But I wanted to prove that it's not He's not fighting it because he's lazy, you know? So I kind of tapped into that. And I really like that, and that's kind of why I wanted to do this Better Life series, because I just wanted to tell the stories that I think fit with each family, if that makes sense. Because also in my plans, I also have like, I want to do like a little thing for the goths, calientes, literally just like a lot of townies. I'll probably start with base game townies, and if anybody wants me to, I can look into some of our pack townies, like ones that comes with packs, basically. I think it could be fun. And before anybody asks, I'm not sure to how much I'll get into like lore, because I don't really know too much about it. Because I know that technically the Pancakes have a son named Iggy, I think, that has been like confirmed by Maxis on the gallery. I might follow that. It all depends on how the cookie crumbles, I guess. And when it comes to the goths, I don't really know much about the goths. My first Sims game is The Sims 4, because, to be completely honest, as a kid, I had a PlayStation 2, and most games that we liked to play, I loved the Bratz games. My family loves, we still have it, not the PS2, but we love Spyro. We got the Spyro Reignited trilogy a couple years ago, and I've been playing it every so often. But yeah, I don't know. I know I just feel like I'm stalling. How do people talk for this long? I mean, I usually can talk for this long, but I ramble a lot, and then I end up not talking about what I'm supposed to be talking about. So, oops. But one thing I do have to say is I struggled so much with the layout of this house. I did not know for the life of me how to furnish this living room, because I just couldn't find a wall to stick things on. And then when I did, I had like dead space. I'm like, what the fuck? What do you put here? What do you put in the dead space? I don't know. Are you supposed to put things in dead space? I have no clue. And then I got mad at cottage living, because I'm like, how are you going to have this gorgeous couch and not give me a goddamn matching love seat? But you know, at this rate, it's just one of EA's funky little quirks, I guess. But yeah, I basically just tried to go just simple. Yes, I think Southern living. I don't know. I'm not from the South. It's just a lot of things that I used to see on, like, decorator shows. And if I'm completely honest, my house doesn't have, like, a lot of wall art. So anytime I have to decorate walls, I'm like, what are you supposed to put up there? I don't know. And now, my favorite part, the reason why it's my favorite part, mind you, this is completely sarcastic, is the fact that I do not, in fact, know how to do landscaping. Why? I don't know. I don't understand it. I don't know if I'll ever understand it. And that's okay. I mean, it's not, but it's just one of those things that some people are just, like, really good at it, and, like, I'm just not sure how to go about doing it. And you're like, well, you're doing pretty good now. I'm like, the only way that I'd ever do good at landscaping is when I just chuck shit everywhere. And even then, I'm like, I literally don't know. And then this ends up looking like crazy, because you're like, well, you're literally just placing it. I'm like, I try to go in and clean it up later, but, like, if I'm completely honest, I wish I went back and just just did the bushes, because the bushes, like, looking back, actually look pretty nice, but it's whatever. It's fine. And then I just gave him a cool little pool. I really liked this weird center bit that I did, where it's like this oblong, what is it? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, octagon, I think. And then you put the pool in half, and then you put like tile on the other side. I thought it was really cool. And then I just do some last minute tweakings, I guess, and then we do the front yard. I don't understand how people landscape. I do the same landscaping every single time. And we're just lucky that the Pancakes house is in Willow Creek. Because if it was in Oasis Springs, I just barely understand landscaping when it comes to like a place like Willow Creek where you have like all these flowers, this greenery. You want me to know how to landscape in a desert? Bestie, I do not know how to landscape in a desert. But it's fine. I ended up using these lilacs, and I'm like, I really like the purple and the green. I don't know why. Barney realness, let's go. And then I moved the trash cans. Obviously, you only need one trash can in the game, but here's the thing. I don't care. I just really liked it, so. And then I remembered, I'm like, I need the box of decorations, so. And this is our last little spin through. This is the finished house. Obviously, it's not too detailed like as many other people can do, but it is detailed enough for my liking that I am proud of. I really like this house, and if you want, I can share it on the gallery. Why? Because I turned custom content off for one thing when I was playing, and then I forgot to turn it back on. So everything in this game, it's not base game per se. I have a really bad habit of calling it base game when it's not base game. I call it base game when it's not custom content, you know. Also, I'm like, one last spin through. I'm like, no, I forgot to put some things, and just last second we'll put it in. But I really like how this house came out, because as much as EA tried with the original house, obviously there's more items that I can use than they can because they use base game because it's a base game house, but I feel like I added more to the story than they originally did, because I don't get why they put workout gear in his room when he doesn't want it, even though you're like, well, she put it there. I'm like, no, she is known to like run around in the game. She's kind of active, so I put it in a place that they can both reach. But with that, I hope you all enjoyed this video. Sorry that you may hear my sniffles. I'm happy to be back, and I'm excited to play again, I guess. If you are excited for the little mini series that I have planned for this, please let me know. Let me know what you'd like to see lore-wise out of these two. And I will see you in the next one. Goodbye!